Hello, everybody. Chris Ramsey here. So today we are going to be talking about Teespring with StumbleUpon. So we're going to call this the TeeStumble Workshop. Um, so I am trying to figure out the Q&A section real quick, and as soon as I do, we'll get started. Actually, we'll probably wait another minute or two anyway, because I want to make sure everybody's here and ready. So we'll go ahead and give everybody just a couple minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and pause my microphone while we do that, so you're not hearing me breathe on you. Okay, all right. So everybody's starting to show up. We're a minute past 11 o'clock or 4 o'clock here in Wales. So I think we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. Okay, guys. So as I said before people started showing up, we're going to be talking about Teespring in conjunction with StumbleUpon today. That's why we're calling this the TeeStumble Workshop. I know that's very creative. Anyway, so there's a very specific process that I like to use when using StumbleUpon, which I will be sharing with you here in the training. But please feel free to get creative with it. What works for me may not work exactly for you, so you may need to tweak and mess around with things a little bit. So just keep that in mind. This is an an experimentation game. Literal copy and paste very rarely works. I can give you what works for me, and if you start using it and it doesn't work quite as well, just start making some changes and you should see some pretty good results. Okay, so during the call we are going to be talking about what StumbleUpon is really. I know there were a couple people who weren't quite sure what it was or even how it would work with t-shirts, which I'll be showing you. And then we'll also be talking about the promotion process, how to create your ads and things like that, although they're not exactly ads, but you'll see what I mean in a little bit. I'm also going to show you a really cool WordPress plugin, which I've been using for this lately. It's done really well for me, and I think it'll do really well for you also. What you are going to be... sorry, my mind was going blank for a second. One thing I'd really like for everybody who's watching this to do for me is to get a pen and paper, because I'm going to have you write down a lot of stuff as we go along. And I think it'll just really help commit things to memory for you. I know that really helps me. I've got this itty-bitty little notebook. Where did it go? Tiny little thing that I carry around in my pocket everywhere I go. An even tinier pen, which I don't have with me at the moment, so you can't see that. But writing things down as I'm going through trainings really, really helps me remember things, so I don't have to go back and watch the video 3, 4, 5 times to remember all the important bits. So please get a pen, get a paper, and be ready, because we're going to be talking about some really cool stuff today. Okay, so first, just so you know, in a little bit we will be going over to some over-the-shoulder stuff, so you don't have to sit and stare at my ugly mug the whole time. Now first, let's go ahead and talk about StumbleUpon. What is it exactly? StumbleUpon is well, it used to be a browser extension. Now it's actually a website. I'm not even sure if they have the browser extensions anymore. But what it does is it adds a little bar at the top of the website, if you go to stumbleupon.com. And it has a little stumble button at the very top. You click that and it'll take you randomly to a website that's in their database based on a topic that you have said that you're interested in, which is really fantastic, because people can go in there and add stuff that they're super interested in, and you can show up in their pages for free, essentially. We are going to be focused on using the paid discovery, but you could technically do it for free, and if you had a really good design, it would probably go pretty well. But I like to pay for things instead of trying to depend on stuff going viral. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So let's go ahead and get out off of this ugly screen here. And we'll go ahead and do the screen share. Okay, so I'm logged into StumbleUpon over here. As you can see, this is what the website looks like. You go to stumbleupon.com and it randomly took me to this website here. 35 things you see every day in Dubai. Now I can click thumbs down, I can click thumbs up, or I can click stumble or a few other things. What I'm going to do now is just click stumble, and it'll go and load another page. In this case, they want me to add more interest, so I'm just going to add a couple of things here. Click save interest, and hit keep stumbling. Incredibly sarcastic graffiti. You can hit stumble again, and you just keep going until you find something that catches your eye. Now, what happens with the paid discovery is you're going to be paying to have your website show up in here. In our case, it's going to be Teespring campaigns. And if you can, and one of the great things about this is because people are putting in specific interests that they're putting in specific topics that they're interested in, that means that you can specifically target those interests, things that people are really, really passionate about. There's even careers and stuff like that that you can target inside of StumbleUpon's paid discovery, which means you can do a lot of those career t-shirts that you see out there. I've been doing that with engineering lately, and I'll show you in a little bit one that campaign that I just threw together so I could show this to you guys really quick. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, so StumbleUpon is just a really simple, easy to use website that lets people discover cool stuff. And one of the big reasons why people buy t-shirts is because they're so cool. They're just they speak to what they're interested in, and it lets them show off their interest to the world. So something that would work really well in conjunction with StumbleUpon, because obviously it's something that they want to know more about or whatever. Anyway, so let's go ahead and talk about the actual paid discovery. Actually, first let's go back over here. So this is the interests section of StumbleUpon. As you can see here, I've got 16 interests. I've actually got 20 now just because I added 4 more. But here you can go ahead and click the Add Interest button. And it's going to give you all sorts of stuff that you can start adding to your interest. Popular, recommended, or all, or you can even search. So if I wanted to just do Minecraft, I could search for that. I can go ahead and just click follow on that. There's no followers except for me on this one now, but anyway, it's pretty easy, pretty simple to do. People can go in here and add pretty much anything that they want to their StumbleUpon account and then find content related to that. So if you can find a really great topic that has a lot of people following it on StumbleUpon, you can create a lot of really great shirts and use your paid discovery to do that. So StumbleUpon, in my professional opinion, which is always accurate, is just a great way to combine people's interests with their desire to see cool things on the internet, specifically related to what they are interested in. It's just a really great combination because people love t-shirts, and they're really going to love the shirts that you're making related to their market. It's just a fantastic way to do things. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about actually creating your StumbleUpon ads. It's really, really simple. First of all, we need to create a Teespring campaign. So I'm going to log into one of my accounts over here. This one I don't use a whole lot because I don't want to show you guys all of the stuff that I'm doing with Teespring. But what I generally focus on doing is creating my shirts here inside of the t-shirt creator. I do have a designer that works with me on a lot of different t-shirts, but I like the t-shirt designer here because I can just put together text-based t-shirts pretty quickly. And I'll show you a cool trick to make this really good looking. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a t-shirt that I think would sell well. This is not based on any research or anything like that. This is just something that is kind of off my head that I've seen around before. So we're just going to say, trust me, I'm an... Actually, let's get rid of these. We're going to do this over again in capitals. All right, so first of all, let's move those around. Switch this to a black t-shirt. What we're going to do is make this white, choose a better font. We're going to do bold. See what this one looks like. Yeah, it looks pretty good. We'll do that. And then we can just go ahead and adjust this a little bit. All right, so here we've got a t-shirt that looks pretty good. Trust me, I'm an engineer. This is a type of shirt I've seen around before, so I think this would sell kind of well. Now, one of the things I like to do with text-based t-shirts is get them all kind of evened up around the edges. This isn't perfect. You don't have to get it perfect, but this just looks good on a t-shirt, as you can see here. Anyway, so we've got this all selected. I want to go ahead and keep that one there. Click Next Step. I'm going to set this to 20 shirts. I'm going to set my price to $29.99. I know that's a lot higher than normal, but trust me, what I'm going to show you is really, really cool, and this will help you sell a lot more shirts. Then we're going to go down here, add a couple things. Long sleeved, hoodie. Actually, I guess we don't really need hoodie because it's summer pretty much everywhere. We'll go ahead and just leave those prices the same. Click Next Step. And we're going to make sure that the campaign is really eye-catching. Now, as you saw on StumbleUpon, people can go from website to website pretty quickly. So what they need is something that is really eye-catching, that'll kind of grab their attention and keep it there for a few seconds while you look at stuff. StumbleUpon Paid Discovery does have something really cool that I'll share with you here in a minute that kind of, or that makes it so you only pay for people who are actually engaged with your website, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So just kind of keep in mind, you have to have something that, sorry about that, you have to have something that is going to really catch the eye. So you can even go through StumbleUpon yourself with the interest that you plan on targeting and see what other people are doing. I don't know why that's up there still. Anyway, and see what other people are doing so you can do the opposite and really get something that is eye-catching, eye-grabbing, and will really keep attention. Anyway, so headline is hands down the first thing pretty much anybody's going to see. They'll see the t-shirt, then they'll look at the headline. So you have to make sure that your headline's really, really good. So most of the time I like to do, if it's a text-based t-shirt anyway, I like to just put the name or the words that are on the t-shirt into the campaign title. Since we're not writing headlines for a sales letter or anything like that, we don't have to focus on emotions and benefits and features and things like that. In this case, I'm mainly just going to do, trust me, I'm an engineer. Just going to add that to our campaign title. And our description, I've talked about this in other trainings, but I'm just going to go over it real quick again. What we're going to be doing in the description is focus on a few trust elements. So what we need to do is, first of all, just go over the reason to buy the t-shirt. So I'll say, get your, trust me, I'm an engineer shirt today. Show off your mad skills with the world and prove that you're better than everyone else. Then at this point, we are going to be focused on trust building elements. So what you can say is something like 100% made and shipped from America. Made, oops, if I can type, made from only the highest quality cotton materials, not from a sweatshop somewhere overseas. And then you can just go on with things like this. But mainly I'd like to have a short little paragraph that focuses on that type of information and then move into the guarantee. And you can say, don't like the shirt, send it back and get a complete refund. No questions asked. And here, what I like to do is I just go to Google and do Teespring refund, get this URL here, about/terms, and add that in here. This gives people, oh, there we go. That gives people more information about what they are, or about the refund policy. From there, you can go ahead and just type your call to action and say, click the button below to get your shirt now. And that's pretty much it. You're done with that. I like to set this for 7 to 10 days, so I'll just do 10 days here. Choose a URL. We're just going to say, trust me, I'm an engineer. Read the terms of service and launch your campaign. Sorry about that. The window is open here, and that was loud. Anyway, so once this gets saved, I'm going to show you a really cool little trick that I've been using that works really, really well. So as you may have seen from my sales letter or really any of my promotions that I've talked about over the last month or two, I like to offer discounts. And I've had a bunch of people ask me, Chris, how do I offer discounts on my Teespring t-shirts? Now, first of all, you need something to sit in between the click and your t-shirt. And in this case, we're going to be using the plugin that you can get on the page here, where you can download that. And I'll show you in just a minute how to use that. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop that real quick. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to create another t-shirt. I'll pop over here. We're actually going to create another t-shirt. It's exactly the same, except the price is lower. So instead of $29.99, I'm going to do percentage calculator. So instead of $29.99, we are going to go for $19.99. So $19.99 is what percent of $29.99. So that means we're going to have about 33% off of the price. So next we're going to go ahead and launch another campaign. And we're going to do everything the same again. All right, then we're going to go ahead and resize these just like we did before. Next step, set our goal back to 20, or whatever you want to set your goal to. And we're going to set this to $19.99. And we're going to add those options in again. And as you can see, the prices here are lower as well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click next step. And we are literally going to copy and paste everything over here. Except in the headline, we're going to add this. And there we go. That's all. So we're just going to say, trust me, I'm an engineer, discount. Okay, so at this point, we have two different listings. So we've got this one here, which is $29.99. And then we've got the one that's saving over here, which is going to be $19.99. And that's going to be the basis of our discount. So the reason why we have to use a plugin or something like that is so that we can have people land on this page and then offer them a discount if they go to the other page. And when they click, they'll be much more likely to actually go and purchase it because they're clicking specifically for the discount. So once this finishes saving, which it looks like it's going to take forever doing, all right, here we go. We're going to go ahead and grab these two URLs. So let's go ahead and get rid of those. And we don't actually need these to load properly at the moment, so we're not going to do that. So what we need to do is go over to WordPress. Here I've got it's a test account or test WordPress that I use for developing certain things. So you can't go here. Anyway, so what we are going to do now is we're going to be going over, once you install the plugin that I've included with this training, you're going to have this little popovers thing added to your sidebar. You're just going to go in here, click popovers, click add new. We're just going to say engineer shirt discount. And in here actually, let me just go ahead and add a couple things real quick so you can see what this looks like. Nah, we'll do the whole thing right now. Okay, so what we're doing is we are creating an overlay for our Teespring campaign. So what we're going to do is on this main one here that's more expensive, we're going to let people land on this, and then a few seconds afterwards, the little pop-up will come over the top of this and say, hey, Stumblers, I've got an exclusive discount for you guys. Go ahead and click the link below to pick it up now. So I'm actually going to go ahead and reload this page because I do want the shirt image. So I'll just let that load for a minute. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a headline here and just say, hey, Stumblers, get an exclusive 33% discount on this shirt. Center that. And let's see here. All right, let's do it. It's not loading for me at the moment, but what you're going to do is you're going to copy the URL of the chart image. It's going to look something kind of like this up here. Shirt pig, numbers, front.jpg, and then the date. So from here, we're going to go ahead, hit enter, click add media, and we're going to choose insert from URL. And you're just going to plug that URL right in there. Now this may not actually load for us. And it doesn't look like it. So what I'm going to do instead, I think I've got a shirt image on my desktop here from the other day. Man, I have a lot of images here. I am a very well organized person, as you can tell. Okay, well I don't at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add a different image. Let's just use this right here. So we'll go ahead and add this image here. What we're going to do is click insert into post. Let's get added in here. We're going to go ahead and center that. And you can resize this up and down as you wish, but we're just going to leave this here because it's a pretty decent size already. Then under that, you just say click here to instantly save 33% on this shirt. Now, one of the big goals with our overlay here is to make sure that people have enough time to see the shirt and say, hey, or in their heads say, hey, that's the shirt that I want. That's why we add a delay to the overlay. So first, I'm going to go ahead and grab the URL, the more expensive one here. We're going to plug that into the overlay URL right here. And then for the popover delay, we're going to add that as 6 seconds. And what happens is once Teespring loads up, it'll start the timer. Or sorry, no, I'm misreading that. Once the page loads up, it'll start the timer, not when Teespring loads up. So you might want to add an extra second or two into whatever your time is. So instead of like 4 or 5 seconds, I'm going to add 6. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit publish. And we'll go ahead and view the popover. And in this case, I set something up wrong. Let me go ahead and check what that might be real quick. Yep, okay, here we go. I am going to need to get you guys an update to the plugin. So I will be doing that as soon as we finish this call. All right, so the page loads, and after 6 seconds, you've got your pop over here. It might take a little bit of finagling here. Just going to make sure everything is nice and centered. And totally forgot we need to put our link in here as well. I did not add that in. I'm going to go ahead and hit add link and update. Go ahead and stop that. And we'll go ahead and see how that looks. All right, it looks like WordPress is not adding the tag that we want in here. Let's see here. So we've got our image here. Yeah, here we go. None, center, update. I'm just going to add a center tag here manually and hit update. Sometimes the WordPress editor does not pump out the correct HTML for us. But when I give you guys the update, I'll go ahead and add that center tag in there manually as well. Oh, I see what the problem is. Okay. There's not actually a line break here. There we go. That should get us what we want. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. So we have a little extra space than we'd like here, but point is we have our overlay here. So we got Hey Stumblers get an exclusive 33% discount on the shirt, T overlay. Click here to instantly save 33% on the shirt. So they can click that, and it'll take them over to the discounted version of the t-shirt. Quick, simple, and easy. So like I said, I'll go ahead and make a quick update or two to the plugin as soon as we get off the call, and I'll go ahead and re-upload that back over to the page here, so you can go ahead and get that. For all of you who are watching through the replay, don't worry about that. By the time you see this, you will have the updated version of the plugin. Anyway, so that is the plugin in short. It works really well. You can literally put anything that you want. If you really felt the need, you could put a big old, oh, there we go. That's why we were having so much space there. Had an extra line break at the top there. Anyway, so that is the plugin. You are basically looking to get the attention of StumbleUpon users specifically by saying, hey Stumblers, here's a discount just for you, but only after they've had time to check out the actual t-shirt. Unfortunately, at the moment, though, looks like the image server for Teespring's t-shirts is not working correctly, so can't do those at the moment, or any promotion at the moment. Anyway, so that's basically what our campaign is going to be. That's the URL we're going to be using. So to get the URL, this view pop over here, you just right-click that and choose Copy Link Address, and that's what we're going to use inside of StumbleUpon's Paid Discovery. So let's go ahead and jump over to that. Here is a new account that I created the other day, so I could just go ahead and show you guys basically from scratch what you need to do to get your Paid Discovery account up and running. Now, over here in the corner, once you've got your account set up, you don't need any account approval or anything like that. It's very quick, very easy to do. Anyway, so what you need to do is add some funds. There's no limit to the funds you can add, so if you want to start with just $5 or $10, you can go ahead and do that really, really quickly. Just add your funds, and you're good to go. Next, you need to go ahead and click the Create a New Campaign button up here at the top. Now, I don't have any templates or anything set up, but once you really start using StumbleUpon's Paid Discovery, you might want to set some of these up for yourself so that you can go ahead and have all of your interests and things selected and your budget and all that. So you can just go ahead and select it and enter your URL, and you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and add my URL here. In this case, it's localhost, so this isn't actually something that'll work for anybody else. So this would actually get denied, but yeah, see here. So I'm just going to go ahead and just say one of my domains here. Add that in there. Now it's going to pop over this little thing because we've got the pop over equals engineer shirt discount. The reason for that, let me go ahead and show you, is I don't have the permalink set up. Oh, this is not what I want. I don't have the permalink set up inside of my development one here. If you were to have post name or something like that set in there and click Save Changes, your URL would look different, as you can see up here, popover/engineer shirt discount. But in this case, I didn't have that set up, so I've got this little question mark popover equals and then the name of it. So it says you might be using tracking parameters. You can literally just ignore this because it does not matter. So this will pop up if you don't have your permalink set up, but just ignore it. Next, you're going to have a campaign name. This just helps with organization. You don't have to do this, so I'm just going to say test for workshop. And again, I don't have any templates set up on this account, so I'm not going to have anything in here. Next, we're going to focus on our audience. Now, in this case, we are focusing on engineers. So I'm going to say people who are at least 22 years old and less than 45. You're probably not going to find too many 99-year-olds on here, but you never know. Anyway, so the reason I'm choosing 22 years old is because I want people who have at least gone through a few years of college, so they are really into the engineering and are calling themselves engineers by that point. So next I'm going to choose male as the gender. This is really only because the majority of engineers are male, so I'm not really too worried about targeting female engineers. Next, for the device, I'm going to leave all of those as is. Don't have to worry about those. And location, I'm just going to add kind of the big three. United States, United Kingdom, might be under UK, there we go, and Australia. So those are kind of the big countries that, in my opinion, are willing to spend the most money online. So we're going to focus on those three. Next, we're going to do our interests. Now, you can do interest bundles if you'd like, but I haven't really messed with these too much. If you're doing stuff for political stuff or any of these categories, you can choose those. But I'm going to do precise targeting. Instead, I am going to go down here, choose technology. No, not technology. Where did I find engineering before? Science and mathematics, here we go. And under engineering, we've got 6 different interests to choose from. So I'm just going to go ahead and click select all. Actually, civil engineering probably won't be worth it. But anyway, so we've got 5 different engineering interests that we've got there. This says the reach is 4% of audience size, but that's still pretty decent. With over, I think, 25 million people using StumbleFun, you're going to get a pretty decent reach out of that. So you don't have to worry too much. Here's a good one, electronic parts. The similar interest is something that I've never even noticed before, so that is definitely something you might want to mess around with as well. And you can get your reach or your audience size up as well. Okay, so next you're going to go down to your budget. I'm just going to say $5 a day. And personally, I like to spend it as soon as possible. That said, I like to have a lot more control over my campaigns than most people want to deal with. If you just want to let it go, choose spend evenly. If you want to sit there and kind of babysit it, choose spend as soon as possible. Otherwise, you're going to use all your money really, really quickly, and you're going to be out of your daily budget pretty fast. If you are overseas, like I am, you might want to do spend evenly, because if you have it set to spend as soon as possible, as soon as it gets approved, you're just going to blow through your budget pretty quickly. For the schedule, we're just going to go ahead and leave this alone. It's not required. And for our price, we're going to go ahead and just bump this down a little bit. So I'm just going to say 11 or 12 cents per stumble, and then engage visitors only. It does say recommend a price, but I found that you can actually go under the price a little bit, and it doesn't affect too much. So I'm going to do 18 cents. It's going to pop up with that again. And if, again, once you've kind of figured out what works for you, you can go ahead and create a template here and choose Save Template. So we're going to go ahead and click Submit here. And that URL doesn't actually work. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose email tweaks there. Again, because that URL doesn't actually exist. So we're going to go ahead and hit Submit. And there we go. We can go ahead and view the submitted campaign. And it takes about 1 business day for your ads to get approved. So you keep that in mind. You can go ahead and get a few set up in 1 day, and then the next business day you should have your campaigns approved. So if you get anything done today, today's Thursday, tomorrow it should be approved, but if you wait until Friday, you're probably not going to get anything approved until Monday. So keep that in mind. I made that mistake. I put stuff in on a Friday the first time I did this, and it didn't get approved until Monday because they don't work on the weekends, I guess. Anyway, so this is our campaign now. It's really, really simple, easy to use. You're going to have some simple stats here, as well as a nice little graph that shows you how many visits you're getting throughout. One of the cool things about StumbleUpon is as people go through and see your ads, if they like it, they're going to give it the thumbs up. And that means you're going to go more viral on StumbleUpon. So you're going to get unpaid visits in addition to paid visits, which means that you are going to get free traffic from StumbleUpon, provided you have a nice shirt that people like. So if you're already creating shirts, keep using whatever you're using if they're selling, and start using them on StumbleUpon as well. And you should be able to see those go pretty viral. If there's something that people like, it's going to get a lot of unpaid visits. So I wouldn't really worry too much about that. It's just a nice little boost. Now, one of the things I wanted to kind of cover in the StumbleUpon training today is some of the psychology behind StumbleUpon. As you can see here, it's a really fast-paced thing. If somebody doesn't like what you've got, they're going to go and click Stumble and visit the next really, really fast. So you got to make sure that your shirt and your headline stand out. Again, the headline, if you've got a text-based shirt in your campaign, anyway. If you got a text-based shirt in your campaign, just use that as the title on your campaign. However, if you don't, if it's more of a graphic kind of thing, make sure that your headline has some nice, catchy words in it. And overall, make sure that your shirt is very eye-catching. You may want to use colors other than black because they're more eye-catching than black is, but as we all know, black shirts tend to sell better than other ones. So kind of a, win or lose situation on that a little bit. Anyway, so really, really make sure that your shirt is eye-catching, because once people see it, they're either going to choose to stay there or stumble away to the next website. So if you can make sure it's eye-catching, they'll give people enough time to look on your site for just a few more seconds, kind of get the idea of what's going on, and then your pop-up will come up with the discount that you're offering them. So it's a really simple process, but the discount really, really helps you guys. I really recommend that you guys start using the discount. It's something that I don't think I've seen anybody else do, but it works really well. It only takes a couple of minutes to set up, and it can really improve your conversions. One of the big things is, I know a lot of people have trouble selling shirts at the $19.99 price point, but if you're giving them the higher price first and then saying, hey, this $19.99 is actually a discount, you're going to have a lot less resistance to paying that $19.99 for the shirt. So you can make a decent chunk of change on every shirt that you sell. Okay, guys, so I think we've covered pretty much everything that we need to. I mean, you guys can go back and watch the video at any time that you'd like to check out how I went through the whole process. It's a fairly simple process, but the discount is really what's going to make or break this for you guys. StumbleUpon is a fantastic source of traffic that's really cheap, and I'm realizing right now that I totally forgot to show you something really, really cool. So we'll just go ahead and pop back over this page before we go. The engaged visitors only on the campaign creation page, make sure you check that. It adds a little price to the thing, but what this does is it makes sure that everyone that you're getting paid for is somebody who actually sits on the site for a few seconds and clicks around a little bit and looks around and scrolls around. If they don't do that, you aren't going to pay for that visitor. So you may pay 5 cents more per visitor, but they're going to be more engaged with the content on your page. And that means that they're closer to being sales for you. So that's just a fantastic way to do things. Anyway, so real quick, I just want to kind of go over everything again. First of all, you need 2 Teespring campaigns, one high-priced, one with the discount. Then you need to use the plugin to create your popover that you're going to use on top of the higher-priced Teespring campaign. Then you're going to go ahead and create your StumbleUpon paid discovery campaign. You're going to choose the interests through precise targeting, which, by the way, this is a fantastic, fantastic place to get great new ideas for markets. You can go through here and literally just pick and choose markets that people are really, really interested in. Real quick, let's just look at a couple of those. So fashions and crafts, fashion and beauty, We're going to go ahead and select all. I'm going to choose female instead of male here. And that already brings us up to 9% of audience size. So that's really, really good. Very, very simple, easy way to find good new markets to work in. Anyway, so that's kind of how the process works. Again, it's very simple, and as long as you're using the discount strategy that we talked about today, it's going to work pretty well for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to email me after the call is over. I don't mind answering questions for you guys. So go ahead and just shoot me a reply to any of the emails that I send out, and I'll get back to you pretty quickly. All right, guys, thanks so much for taking the time to hang out with me today. I'm going to go ahead and get that plugin fixed and updated for you right now, and in the next couple of minutes, that'll go ahead and be updated on the web page. All right, thanks, guys. I will talk to you soon. Don't forget, you can email me if you have any questions.